Thank you, Chair. And I want to say thank you to all members of the public that joined us today. And of course, thank you to the bill sponsor for hearing our questions and for following up too, because I'm hopeful we continue the conversation to try to reach to a point where the goal of ensuring security is authentic versus what I feel is a ripple effect to completely eliminate the Citizen Led Ballot Initiative. This past year, 57% of Floridians voted yes on Amendment 4, a campaign that I was personally very involved with myself as a volunteer, collecting petitions and helping to ensure that Floridians would have the opportunity to engage in this direct process of a constitutional amendment. It was already a very difficult environment at the time to launch and lead on citizen-led amendments. These campaigns are expensive, they are exhausting, they are massive enterprises in a state as large as Florida. And that is due in part to policies that this body has passed in recent years. I would think in the free state of Florida, where my colleagues love to engage in a marketplace of ideas, that we'd be willing to allow the best ideas to rise to the top, to listen to the ideas and priorities of Floridians. And yet, despite the outcome from last election cycle, though not hitting 60%, legislation to eliminate Florida's near-total abortion ban collects dust on a shelf, but this bill progresses forward to make it harder for Floridians to ever try again on issues like Amendment 4, let alone any other issue they might be inspired to champion. Can you imagine if we proposed $1 million bond to buy a gun? That will be me applying a government-forced price on a constitutional right, on the Second Amendment. I have no doubt my colleagues would be very offended by that. When we collect petitions to get on the ballot, are we holding ourselves to 90% validity rate? I know when I do petition collection and I'm knocking on doors, there are always folks who put the wrong information on despite me being there to help. I wouldn't be able to reach that standard myself. And so ultimately what this bill will do as currently written is make citizen-led initiative processes impossible in the state of Florida unless you have billions to spend. You are creating new administrative burdens under the guise of integrity that is really designed to restrict access and suppress the First Amendment right of Floridians. And I know we didn't talk about it too much, but the report from last year from the Office of Election Crime and Security reviewed 41 petitions. That was their sample size. And so I would also express caution in legislating on an issue where there is still a lot more research to be done on what the actual causes of concern are. And I should note, too, that there was a lot of fraud and a lot of concern practiced by opposition to Amendment 4, who led a publicly funded campaign to spread misinformation to oppose the initiative. I think what frustrates me most about this bill is how many times we just keep moving the goalposts on our Floridians. We make it harder and harder and harder, and when they reach that goal, we move it again. And so bottom line, this is a constitutional right, one that Floridians support, Republicans and Democrats and MPAs, and each one of us should support to maintain a constitutional amendment process as well. So with that, I urge everyone to vote no. Thank you, Chair.